What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Goods X Y Big Z. We back in the building, man. Y'all already know what the deal is, man. It's your boy Goods. We in here, man. Again! Let's talk about Drake, Pusha T, UMG, Def Jam, Kendrick, all this stuff in here, man. We are at a time where things can really change for hip hop. And I don't know if a lot of people are taking it serious or not. I don't know if anybody's really like looking at this like this is something dangerous. But to me, it is. Because we look at everything that's happened with Drake and we look at where we're at. I don't think anybody had it on their bingo card that we was gonna have a lawsuit off of this track. Like, come on, y'all. How many of y'all would have guessed that the end result after Not Like Us, after everything, was gonna be a lawsuit? I'll wait, y'all. Y'all let me know. How many of y'all thought that was gonna happen? If you say you did, you lied. We have been following the entire beef from the very start. Y'all remember, a lot of y'all found me off of this beef, right? And we have been, riding ever since, man. We've been talking about everything that's been going on. Nobody knew that we were going to get here. And we all know that Drake got destroyed by Kendrick Lamar, but he also got destroyed by somebody else before that, and that was Pusha T. Now, with the whole Pusha T thing, if you don't remember, most of the reason why it stopped is because I'm pretty sure that there was a lot of talk behind closed doors. There were a lot of people trying to save Drake at that moment. I don't think Drake was as exposed as he is now with Kendrick, but back then, before that, there were a lot of people trying to save him. You feel me? And now that we're here, and there's a whole lawsuit involved, we got this going on with Pusha T. Now, we know Pusha T and No Malice have their album coming out, which is great. The album's coming out. I'm super excited for the album. Love the clips, love the music. Always been a fan, man. One of my favorite tracks, one of my favorite verses from No Malice, I was talking about this the other day, is I'm Not You.
Rappers is talking to me as if we in the same boat. I tell them quick, no, I move cold.
Insane on that verse, like talking. My guy was talking. Shout out to No Malice on that verse. There was a Kendrick verse that was supposed to be on that. Well, it is on the album, but it was supposed to be on that album when they were with Def Jam. And Def Jam basically blocked that feature. And they offered a compromise to Pusha T, which was either take the feature off or have Kendrick revise, aka censor his lyrics. Now, if we think about hip hop, there's no way that anybody should be okay with that. Nobody should be okay with that shit. Nobody, even if it doesn't affect you directly, nobody should be okay with the label telling you to censor your lyrics. And not because you're saying something that's super offensive to people or something that's gonna marginalize a group or hurt a group or anything that's like considered like racially discriminatory, whatever. None of that shit. Because you were going to hurt Aubrey. This was all done in protection of Aubrey, bruh. Which is the craziest part out of this whole thing. Shout out to Elite Shadow with the bits on Twitch. He said, Drake and his diseased fan base wake up every day and look for ways to reach new levels of hoassery. Yeah, I agree. So, this is like one of those dangerous places that we're in right now. And let me bring this up real quick, and we're going to talk about this. So UMG, aside from them, telling them that they had to censor the music and either censor the music or take Kendrick off, this is something that I saw on here that NFR podcast posted, right? Where it said UMG threatened to scrap Pop Smoke's album over a Pusha T bar aimed at Drake. Now, this is beyond. This is before this, right? And it goes on to say, UMG thought he was dissing Drake on that song. He wasn't. We're not going to put this out now unless you get Pusha to change these lyrics. Now, y'all tell me how that comes off to y'all. That is an insane thing to have up there. Imagine writing a verse and a label telling you whatever you said bad about this artist, take that shit off. Y'all see where we're getting here? Y'all see how dangerous this can get? Because once it sets that precedent, right, that's where we're at. So once you have these labels telling artists what they can and cannot say, it becomes a big issue. And all of this comes from this lawsuit This lawsuit is where it starts. Now, let's say in a world Drake he gets the victory and he's able to just, file this lawsuit and win. How do you think labels are going to continue moving forward? Everything you say, everything you want to say about anybody in any type of song is going to have to go through the chains and get approved. Imagine having to get your song approved by the label. Imagine them going through your lyrics and saying, take this out, take that out. What does music become at that point? You feel me? It's crazy. Will you give the homie Locke a shout out? He's 9 and can't comprehend. I know people on YouTube. Yo, shout out to Lachlan, man. One time for Lachlan, man. What up? Giving you a big shout out from BigZoeTV, man. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Isaac does know people from YouTube, man. He knows us very well. Let's go. One time for y'all. One time for y'all. Actually, one time for Isaac, man. One time for Isaac, man. Let's go, man. One time for Lachlan, man. Let's go. All right, we in here. We in here. Ungzy with the super chat. Shout out to my dog, Ungzy, man. One time. He said, is Aubrey wearing eyeliner in that photo? Yes. No matter what the photo says, yes. Yeah. Raven says censorship. Yes, censorship is what you get out of this. Like, let's look at this again. I need y'all to really see what it's saying here. UMG threatened to scrap Pop Smoke's album over a Pusha T bar aimed at Drake. Now, remember, this is the same Drake that's crying and saying that this label was trying to take him down. This is the same guy crying, saying this label was trying to take him down. And this is why he has a lawsuit right now. Oh my God. It's insane. Snowderman said, anytime you subliminally target another artist, you could face legal action. This would trickle down to painters, sculptors, podcasters, content creators, etc. Horrible precedent to set. I agree. And that's a good point, because this can trickle down. In a lot of ways. So I think it's just a horrible place to be right now. And all the people that are sitting out here and defending this shit are insane. Everybody who is sitting down defending this and thinking that this is for the small artists, let's not get this twisted, bro. This ain't about nobody else but Aubrey. Like, let's keep it real. All the people thinking that he's doing this for some greater good and for all the small artists out there, he's not doing this for you. This will be worse for the small artists. If you think the big artist is going to sit there and get censored, what do you think they're going to do to the small artist? If they threaten to shelve your project, do you think that you're going to get a big-ass buyout like Pusha T to go somewhere else? No. It's going to be you either take that shit out or you could take your shit back to the block, nigga. Let's be honest here. Like, let's be real here. Let's be honest here. It's a crazy place to be right now. Now, in addition to this, they said Pusha, I saw this, that was interesting too. It said Pusha called this out in 2020, and now they're trying to do it again with Kendrick. So this is, it looks like a tweet that he posted, and it says, hey, Young Thug, couple things. Don't feel bad. Nobody knew what the verse was about. The label heads that stopped it didn't even know. They only assumed because he told them. He told them. Aubrey has been telling for years, y'all. He been telling for years. Don't act surprised.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Aubrey been telling for years. They only assume because he told them. The same way he told them about the Ross Maybach 6 verse. And if he'll tell record executives about rap verses, God only knows what else he'll tell.
Oh, look. Dun, 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 dun. Like a damn snitch.
I don't deal in police work, police rappers, or police this. Pusha been trying to tell people for years. UMG has been protecting Aubrey for so long. So for Aubrey to sit here and get over here and start acting like UMG is against him is crazy. And the reason why you feel like this is because you took an L. And now that you took this L, you don't know how to act because you're not used to taking L's because UMG has been protecting your ass for all these years. It's crazy. Shout out to Raven with the bits on Twitch. Said, man, this is so lame, the audacity of Aubrey. I'm not even surprised no more. If we're being honest, I'm not even surprised no more. Anything he does after this, I'm just not surprised no more. Like, to me, we already know what type of person he is at this point. So nothing really surprises me anymore. Ken Cobain said, it's amazing that some people have the nerve to call Drake the GOAT of hip hop. The man is willing to destroy it just to come out and feel like he won. Nobody gonna say he won. This is all for him to feel like he won. This is for him to feel like he won, bro. That's all it is. So this kind of makes you see that every time something happened, he was probably on the phone with UMG like, yo, you got to stop this. You got to cut this off. Like, you got to make them stop talking about me. Crazy. Big Starburst said, doesn't this make you despise this whore?
Whore.
In a way, let's think about this though. Imagine this never happened. Imagine the battle never happens, nothing ever happens. You would still have this man walking around just acting like nothing is happening. You know, just walking around being the same old, degenerate that he has been behind closed door and putting on this false facade. Groovy Tony with the super chat said the audacity. Pink Starburst said he was unbothered because he was snitching. Facts.
Look like you about ready to go tell on somebody right damn now.
Facts. Because he always felt like he had that one card he could play. You know, it's like, yo, y'all can say what y'all want. I know I got this one card that I could play, that Lucian card. You know, if things go bad, that's my red button. My red button is the Lucian card.
These guys have songs with him. So there's a relationship. But I think it starts, like Head said, I think it's a competitive thing first. I think after a while, it goes into a little bit of a, more personal thing. Like, when a lot of guys, numbers aren't doing as well if they don't have a song with him, or, he sends a verse.
Hold on, right quick. Sorry.
It's like a bundle package.
Oh! Can't play that without the drop, man.
He doesn't send verses back as fast as he used to, or he's not sending records like he once was. I think that starts to turn into like, damn, he don't fuck with me, or, is it an issue? Change of a number or something like that. You know how those things happen, and then it turns into, all right, well, fuck him.
See, when you got people like Maul that's gonna sit around and just act like everybody's mad at Drake because Drake's not doing things for them anymore. Like, these are the type of people that you always gotta check. The people that's sitting here saying, well, he's not doing this for people, that's why they're mad. No, they're mad because he's a fucking terrible person. Oh my God. And they're happy that somebody finally called that shit out. That's what's going on.
Head, would you agree?
No.
You have the floor?
Elaborate, yeah.
So I don't think there's I don't think it's like a grandiose conspiracy. I don't think that people was plotting and waiting, or I don't even think that it was a jealousy thing, or even that had anything to do with his music. I think if you're a shitty person to people, regardless of what I do for you, I can't just be like a shitty person to you on top of that and just be like, all right, everything is good now. Mm-hmm. So I think that there are things like, obviously, we all know like Head is cryptic. Head don't like to talk about nothing. I just not willing to. Everything for me ain't content. It's just that when your character is not wholesome and you violate the sanctity of certain relationships, yes, certain people are probably going to feel a way towards you, mm-hmm. regardless of what stimulus package you've given them in the past. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter.
I think if you have a relationship with somebody and then, it changes and then the person starts treating you some type of way, and then it's obviously emotions and feelings change. But again, I do think that some of it is, if Drake doesn't, give me a verse or doesn't do a song with me, like I sent him a record, he didn't send it back.
He ignored everything that was just said and went right back to it and said that that's what he thinks it is. The end result is basically that Pusha T parted ways with Def Jam, and with that, the album, clips, everything parts ways from Def Jam. And the ultimatum was basically either he ain't on the track or you censor his music, censor his verse. Obviously, Pusha wasn't going for none of that shit, and they parted ways. Now, this says, according to Pusha T longtime manager Stephen Victor, Pusha T paid 7 figures to get out of his record deal with Def Jam. Now, I want y'all to really look at this and think about what we're talking about. The label let Pusha T go with a Clips album from a duo that has not released anything together in years and is a highly anticipated project. And mind you, Def Jam has not been releasing nothing great throughout the last few years. Let's keep it real. So you let these two walk out of the door because they didn't want to censor a record that's going to come out anyway. Now, when you look at this from the business side, it just boils down to one thing. They're afraid of litigation. And that is where we are right now. We are talking about rap and fucking legal battles, bruh. How did we get here? We're talking about rap and legal battles. This label was so afraid of doing this in fears that this shit could possibly be added to whatever lawsuit, or they don't want to be liable for anything in the future. That's insane. Now, I continue to say, Clips refused to make the requested changes, leading to the unraveling of Pusha T's association with Def Jam, his label home for over a decade. Even though the rapper still owed Def Jam albums, he paid a 7-figure sum to get out of the deal, according to longtime manager Steven Victor. So this is nasty work, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It's nasty work. It's a nasty place to be right now, but I don't know, man. This is dangerous. I don't like it. I don't like where it's going, but this is where we are. If we continue in this direction, music is going to be censored in a way that nobody's going to like. Everything these artists do is going to be scrutinized by the label. The label is going to have to clear all types of shit. Karen said there's no defending Drake. Like, this is aside from all the other degenerate shit he does. Like, he just showing everybody that he's a full-blown Karen. This is nasty work, man.